Well, good morning, everybody. This is sort of an impromptu book review. I've done one book review so far. It was that Harry Potter book that I told everybody that the book sucked. Uh, I want to show you something that means a lot to me. This is sort of a drunken review. Tonight is it's a weekend and I have been drinking. Hey, cheers. So, as you all know, or as some of you may know, maybe not everybody, I am a science enthusiast. What is a science enthusiast? A science enthusiast, to me anyway, is somebody who, like me, never got a degree, understands what the scientific method is about, but not necessarily all of the obvious intellectual things that has to do with it, but necessarily as a science enthusiast, I despise conspiracy theorists and stupid shit like that. Yeah, I'm using some language. That's what it's about. So, this is a book review. This person is a particle physicist or a physicist of, maybe I don't want to misnomen her credentials, but in any case, it was on my Facebook that somebody posted this book as a recommendation. So here it is, without any more ominous. It is "Knocking on Heaven's Door" by Lisa Randall. Lisa Randall is a physicist. I don't know if she claims to be a particle physicist or a quantum physicist. She's a physicist. Okay, she's a really smart person. Okay, all right. So I went to my library and I obtained both the audio and the text books of "Knocking on Heaven's Door." The point of doing this was this is the thing. I'm a poor man. I have little means of buying these books, and when I became aware of these books, of this book, I I needed to find it. So I went to my public library and I asked them if it was available, and they actually ordered it for me from another branch of their library, and I actually obtained it. So what I'm trying to say is I highly recommend this. So where I'm going to go with this is obviously something, a video that's supposed to be a criticism of the book, or at least a promotion of the book. So a review of the book is the actual terminology, is the review. Well, here is what it is. Knocking on Heaven's Door is about what science is about. In fact, the little bubble says, "Now physics and scientific thinking illuminate the universe and modern world." And there it is. How physics and scientific thinking illuminate the universe and the modern world. In other words, this woman, physicist, is trying to is attempting to reach out. I've been trying to reach out to people, and I have no degrees, and I've been trying to tell people what science is about. Here is a physicist who is a world-known physicist trying to reach out to people, and she wrote not just with this book, but another book, which I'm going to mention in a few minutes. What science really is about. So, being the review of this book, I listened to the entire audiobook. I listen. I got this for free. If you're like me and you're a poor man or a poor woman, and you can't afford to buy these things, check your local libraries, because I got these at my local library. I got them for free. I've listened to this entirety, and I followed through some of the text. The reason for having both is because, not to mention my eyesight problems, but there is actually some differences. There is actually the differences are very minuscule, but the fact is that there are some illustrations in the text that they're not in, obviously, the audio. For example, there's some illustrations. So when you follow through the audiobook and the text at the same time, you can gather that. There's some other audio different definitions. She elaborates on the audio to make up for the differences in the text, but that's, for the most part, it's basically verbatim. Any case, nevertheless, what I'm trying to tell people is that Knocking on Heaven's Door by Lisa Randall is a book that is made for the layman to listen to and to read, to let them know what the scientific method is about. Now, as she proposes that it is supposed to be for the layman, I got to tell you that towards the middle and the end of the book, it got technical. And I was sort of following along, but I was like, okay, but what does that mean? But what does that mean? What do you mean by that? And yeah, I was doing that. It does make you say, if a, I want to say that I want everybody to listen to this book, or I want everybody to read this book. I want the skeptics, I want the flat earthers, idiots, to freaking read this book, and obviously they're going to be the people that are going to be like, yeah, right, that's what she said, unfortunately that it does have that effect. Because I'm a science enthusiast, I saw the stuff that those other people would laugh about, and it is painful to me. It is painful to me to think that these people think that. Nevertheless, getting back to reality, I want you to understand that this book is highly recommended. I recommend it. It's been recommended by other people other than myself. Who am I? I'm just a nobody. But nevertheless, Knocking on Heaven's Door by Lisa Randall. Okay? So, what is this book about? It's about science. It's about what science is about. It's about how the scientific method works. In the beginning of this book, she tells us about the history. She talks about Galileo. She talks about Copernicus. She talks about the people who started science. She talks about the Catholic Church. Towards the middle, she gets more technical, and towards the end, she starts to talk about things that are actually a lot more technical. And actually, this book is more about the Large Hadron Collider. She talks about particle physics and quantum physics. And she talks about religion and how she's not religious. And she talks about how that religion and science is incompatible, and she gives reasons why they are not. There is no such thing as spoilers in this video because I could not possibly give you a spoiler. If I read half the book to you verbatim, I would still not be giving you a spoiler. There is no such thing as a spoiler because this is not fiction. This is, in fiction, I can give you spoilers. In fiction, I can give you the plot. Fiction is a beautiful thing. Storytelling is a beautiful thing, and spoilers come along if I told you the end of the story. But there is no such thing as spoilers in real science. It's about how science works, and there is no end to the story. The story hasn't ended yet because there is no end to the story. So, Knocking on Heaven's Door is a book about science and how it works. And I highly recommend everyone who is interested in how science works, whether you're a conspiracy theorist, whether you're someone who's trying to figure out what these freaking people are talking about or whatever, I highly recommend this. Now, in discovering this book, I discovered it from my Facebook people because somebody posted it as a recommendation. In discovering this book, I realized that she also wrote another book called Warp Passages. And she talks about warp passages in this book. I think it's before. I'm not sure, but I think it's a prerequisite, or it could be afterwards. But the fact is that she talks about it in this book means that she must have wrote this after she wrote Warp Passages. Apparently, Warp Passages is more of a scientific book that came before this one. I have yet to get that one, and I intend to get it. But nevertheless, highly recommended for anybody who is interested in how do fucking excuse the French, but how do fucking scientists know what they know? What is the LHC about? The Large Hadron Collider. What is particle physics about? What is this about? People who are trying to understand this stuff, this is the book. And I guarantee you that upon reading this or even listening, because that's what I did, because I have eye problems. That's what I did. I listened to this book, but I followed the writing. In other words, I was listening while I was reading. I didn't read the whole thing, but I was listening while I was reading. I highly recommend that. It's okay to be confused, but learn more about science, and this is about what they are actually doing. Screw the conspiracy theorist, black hole going to destroy the earth bullshit. This is what the real deal is. This is what real science is about. This is what they are actually doing at the Large Hadron Collider. And if you don't understand it as much as I didn't understand half of it, please go ahead and do some more research, because this is the real deal. The conspiracy theorists can go fuck themselves. Excuse my French. Thank you for watching. I'll try to do more book reviews in the future. I don't know what else to do on book reviews. I know that a lot of you know me about Chess Academy and things like that, but I'm also about science and reason. But please subscribe, and if you have any questions, if you want to tell me to fuck off, go ahead. I'm not afraid of foul language. I don't care. Please feel free to ask me questions, tell me off, tell me to go fuck off, tell me that, or suggest some book reviews that I might do, suggest things that I can, you know, ask questions that I might be able to answer, or try to make me look up, whatever it is. Please subscribe, do those things, and thank you for watching.